Salute, salute. What's going on? What's going on? Everybody some time to tap in and check in. What's going on? See the title, What Matters. We're going to get into that tonight. What matters? I want to know. What matters? Let's go. What matters? That's what we're going to get into today. What matters? Give it to that good old 5 minute mark, as I always do. We're going to get into what matters. And as always, we'll have to go back and forth about my videos trigger you and you get emotional, whatever. You know the motto, you know what to do. Otherwise, anybody else, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that doorbell so when I go live, you look through the peephole and recognize and see that is me. Recognize that, notice that, see that is me. We can keep bonding and we can keep building. All right? That's how that works. Straighten out my blazer. Yeah. Just getting into the 5 minute mark before I do what I do. One second. All right, so what really matters? Definitely nowadays, it's a lot going on. You know, it's a lot to digest. So, being that it's so much to digest, it's hard to kind of weed through and seep out like what really matters, like, what's strategically important. Because, we dealing with so much. And what I need to know is what matters. You know, when you get so engulfed with so much, it's hard to determine what really matters. You know what I'm saying? And nowadays, we dealing with so much. How do you know what matters? How do you know what's important or what's relevant? You know, everybody is doing things that's kind of like opinion based and not really based in or on or around facts. So how can you really determine what matter? A lot of times, or majority of times, when you're trying to get your point across, it's kind of hard to do that because somebody's gonna have an opinion based off you speaking truth or facts, or they're gonna criticize or critique something based around facts. And it's how you're gonna get your point across, basically. Like, how you gonna get your point off. You know what I'm saying? So it's real iffy with that. Like it's real suspect with that, to try to get your point out there or get your point across and somebody going to critique something that had nothing to do with the point or pay attention to something that had nothing to do with the point. And for me, doesn't really matter. Like when I view things on the internet, I'm more worried about someone's point or what's their purpose or what's their path or maybe their journey. I'm not really caught up in anything else. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times when that happens, you kind of miss the point. And if they don't have one, they don't have one. If they do, they do. But you'll miss it worrying about so much other things. Like you won't really necessarily get the point. You won't really be able to see the point because you're so caught up in so many other things. So that's why, or how come, I want to know what really matters. Like what's important? Is it culture? Is it gender? Is it nationality? Is it money? Is it politics? Like, because there's so many things that allegedly matters. And when you start to really just you as being yourself, look into it, somebody else may say, but that's not important. So now I want to know what's important there. Because when you look into something, it may not be important to somebody else. You know what I mean? So I need to know what's important. Like I said, is it nationality? Is it culture? Is it gender? Is it music? Is it politics? Is it food? Is it family? Is it career? Is it money? Is it sports? Like, what's important? Like, what's really important? Because from what I see, it's kind of scrambled. It's like a mixed reaction to what's really important. You won't really know because it's like a mixed reaction. It switches from day to day. There's no consistency. It's like so much emotion involved. Like so many people catch feelings and it could distract you from really seeing, paying attention to what's important. So it's like, oh, all right. So again, for me, I gotta ask, what's important? What matters? What matters? If it's family, then let it be family. If it's relationships, let it be relationships. If it's money, let it be money. I'm not saying only one thing should matter or be important. What I am saying is what's important and what matter, let's keep that the priority, or let's keep a few of those things priority. So if it's money and family, let's focus on money and family. If it's music and culture, let's focus on music and culture. If it's politics and culture, let's focus on politics and culture. If it's money and the economy, let's focus on the economy and money. See, again, like I said, I'm just asking because I really want to know like what's important. I'm not confused. I just want to know what's important because when you start to look at certain things, certain people, you really don't know what's important. You don't know that. A lot of people will say one thing is important, then something else is important. But when you start to analyze it and pay attention to it, it's hard to tell that that's really important. Because now, when you look at it, you're like, well, yeah, I thought family was important. I thought money was important. I thought the economy was important. I thought food prices was important. Okay, so now culture matter or nationality matter or politics matter. So to me, it's a lot of mixed feelings and mixed reactions. So it's hard for me to really pay attention. Thank you for tapping in. I appreciate it. Thanks a million. What's going on? Everything okay with you? I give you some time to respond. Um, I'm just trying to figure out what's important, what matters. And again, everybody, could emphasize on what's important to them. I'm just asking what's important because I get so many different reactions. Well, for me, I'm humble, I'm thankful, and I'm considerate. You know, why I'm considerate is due to the fact that when you consider it, you don't get pushed to the side. You know what I mean, for being cruel and cold. And I don't mind being looked at, like I said a couple of days ago, as the villain. because you got villains and you got victims. So I'd rather be the villain in a lot of people's story, so I don't have to play the victim card when it's time for me to hold myself accountable. However, I'm just trying to really figure out what's important because, like I said, I can get, you know, let's just say I ask 10 people every day. Out of the 10 people, five may tell me money and family, two may tell me the economy and business, the other three may tell me culture and nationality. Then I may ask when I go somewhere else, and I'm gonna start recording when I do that. Like I don't really record when I'm out and about, and I'll ask people things. Like if I have an appointment at the doctor's office, hypothetically speaking, and I'll be like, "Yo, I'm a podcaster. You know what I mean? Yo, like, what's over the last 2 years? What's been important to you? Like if I'm walking back to the train, or walking to the bus, or walking back to the vehicle, I'd be like, "Yo, what's important to you?" Some people will answer, but I don't pull my phone out. I'll just ask. And then I'll be like, all right, thank you for your time. And I'll keep it moving. But I'm going to start recording it and then posting it. I'm going to ask people, do you mind if I record your response? And for those who say, yeah, I'll record it and I'll upload it. But when I ask, and one thing I like, I ask all cultures and I ask all ethnic groups or all nationalities. And I'll be amazed at how the answers kind of be similar. So, for example, I ask black people, they'll say something white people said. I ask Asian people, they'll say something white people said. I ask Hispanic people, they'll say something black people said. You know what I mean? I ask school kids, they'll say something business people said. So it's like, all right. And the answers don't really fluctuate. Like the top answers, okay, if I'm doing the top 10 answers, the top 3 to 5 be the same. The economy, rights, and peace throughout the world. Or if it ain't peace throughout the world, the other one would be, you know, politics. Like everybody don't be telling me genre, gender, nationality. They'll tell me the economy, prices, politics, and being able to like free speech, like being able to say and do what people want to do. That be like the top of the list. So for me, it make me ask all the time, so what matter? Like what matters? And I'm starting to see that for certain groups of people, what matters is being able to speak up or speak out or speak against without being quiet or canceled. And money, like that don't matter about nationality. Money, all nationalities is saying they need more money. That's at the top of the list. More money. So that's not changing on nobody list. That's like at the top of the list. Money. And if money matters, so that means we all need to do a better job of being educated about money. We all need to do a better job on how to maintain money, how to maximize a dollar when we get our hands on it. When you learn how to maximize a dollar, you see life from a different realm, from a different perspective. Leonardo, what's going on, Frank? Thanks for tapping in. I appreciate it. Thanks a million. Appreciate your time. So, since the economy or money seems to be, it seems, I'm not saying it is, it seems to be, when I ask people what their main concerns are, they'll say prices of things and money. They want to get paid more, want wages to increase and prices to decrease. And to me, that's not really like a political issue. That's more like a world issue because that's just not an American thing or an American thing. It's people worrying about prices in other countries as well. It's people worrying about money in other countries as well. One would think or believe, since we're in America, they could do more than certain other countries because their economy is bigger. They have access to more money, more people generate money dealing with being in America than a lot of other countries. So, one would think that, one would believe that. And another thing that I get a lot about that allegedly matters again is people being able to say what they want to say or do what they want to do without being held back or restricted. And the third thing is being able to defend their business or their home or their family without having to worry about pushback or backlash because there's so much going on with crime. So it's like if I can't say what I want, do what I want, at least I could defend my business and defend my family. And then a lot of other things start to matter to people. I don't get relationships as much. Like people don't really talk about relationships mattering as much. And that's not just male and female or female and male, like family relationships. It's like family dynamic is not as strong as it used to be because a lot of people learning and bear witness that people don't love them the way they say they do, or people not willing to put in the work like they used to be. Like people used to be willing to put in work to show, they moms they love them or they dad they love them more. A mother put a lot of work to show her son or her daughter how much she loved them more. A dad put a lot of work to show his son or his daughter how much. It's not like that no more. I'm not saying at all, but not on a large scale. Because when you look around, it's like, look, like mothers is unaliving children, children is unaliving mothers, children is unaliving fathers, fathers unaliving children. So it's not like it was in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, and even the early 2000s. Once you got like the 2010s and the 15s and or the teens, and now look how it is. The dynamic of family and or relationship ain't strong. It used to be a strong dynamic. Brothers and sisters had a real tight bond. Cousins had a tight bond. Aunts and uncles was huge on the family tree. You know what I mean? Like your uncle and your aunt are putting in a lot of work, like your mom and your dad. So relationships, they don't matter as much as they used to at one point. Like relationships used to be high up there. They're not high up there no more. People ain't worried about relationships like they used to be. People used to really be worried about relationships. They're not no more. And not like, yo, this relationship mean a lot to me. They don't care about that no more. And that in itself, that's taken a lot away from how things are right now. And a lot get put into and on politics. I would say the government on a whole have more to do with the economy and money and relationships. I can't just really tap into politics and say, well, the mayor or the governor or the president or the senator or congressperson. I'm saying the government, the laws and rules that's voted on, or bills that's signed, or bills and laws that's put in place. So that shifts the energy on relationships. Because I remember when people had strong relationships. Money could break up a relationship. Gossip could break up a relationship. Disagreements could break up a relationship. Now, one argument, a relationship is over. One disagreement, a relationship is over. One emotional breakdown, a relationship is over. Lack thereof money, a relationship is over. A bill don't get paid one time, a relationship is over. So, from my perspective, relationships aren't important any longer. So that's why I'm asking what matters, because from my understanding, relationships don't matter. Sports still kind of hold the same weight it did. And I believe that's due to the internet. Like, for a lot of this generation and the one on to come up, they can just go and look at a lot of the highlights and keep going back and reviewing a lot of the sports. So sports kind of stayed where it was. I'm not gonna say it got more popular or lost steam. It's kind of where it was at. So that may matter to that demographic. But I'm saying overall, even music don't have the impact that it once had. Music had a huge impact in people's lives. Huge. Music brought so many various different generations together. People could be decades, two decades apart. It could be a 20, 25, almost a 30-year gap in generations or and people. And music will bring you together. You can get the older people at that time back in the 90s and all that, the 80s in your family, and they'll get up and be dancing to Michael Jackson or James Brown or whatever. And you'll get the younger generation that get up and dance and have fun and enjoy it. It ain't really like that now because there's so much separation. It's so much separation when it comes to that. And it's so much disagreements. So many people disagree when it comes to music. Like that's what a lot of people do. They disagree. Like a lot of people do that. A lot of people disagree. So music don't have, to me, the same impact. So I don't believe to the level that it used to. It used to matter a lot. Like it mattered more than a lot of other things. Don't have that same impact no more. of mattering. Music used to have a huge impact because it was like, for instance, Prince or Michael Jackson, they had fans like all over the world, literally and logically, who wasn't supporting Michael Jackson when he was at his apex, or Prince when he was at his apex. Yeah, kids, children, teenagers, young adults, mid-age adults, older adults, they all vibe with and off Michael Jackson. They all did that, or Prince. That was the impact they was able to have on various different generations. It's like, yo, I'm saying, nah, I rock with Mike. I rock with Prince. Like even people that had status quo, basketball players, football players, baseball players, boxers, they had a lot of love and respect for Michael Jackson or Prince. You know what I mean? Because they was that huge. But now it seems as if music don't matter on that level. So that's why I'm asking what matters. What I'm talking about on a large scale. That if you ask 100,000 people, you'll get 85,000 people to say, well, this matter. And it's not going to be no mixed feeling or no mixed reaction. They all on a large scale. Out of 100,000 people, 85,000, 88,000, 90,000 will say, well, you say, give me the top three things that matter. They all going to tell you the same thing. Because there's so much of a mixed reaction now to what matter. Can't get something concrete from a lot of people on a large scale that really matter. That's important. You need that. Can't just get out of 100,000 people, 50,000 people say this matter, then another 20,000 say that matter, then another 10,000 say that, another 5. That's mixed reaction. I'm talking about concrete. Yes, 100,000 people. Give me the top three things that matter right now in this lifetime. One of them is going to be money or the economy. The other one may be a better way of living or the prices of things, food, clothes, gas, cars, homes, rent. So that still kind of connected to money in the economy. So that would be kind of like a similar answer. It might not be directly saying it like that, but it'd probably be that. But it ain't family, it ain't relationships, it ain't really jobs like that no more because people get their edge. Like, man, that position ain't paying me enough. Or man, they ain't paying me enough to deal with the customers or my coworkers, boss, or the time I gotta come to work, or how far I gotta travel to get to work. So what would be the overall impact? Like what is really strategically important? Like I said, I get money or the economy prices. I'm gonna say that's one. I mean, is it politics? Is it the government? Okay, so that would that be the top three? Money and or the economy, politics and the government? Because from what I'm saying, even though it's a lot of might not even make the top five. Sports may rank higher than that on the top five things that matter right now today. It ain't these kids, because we see how things is turning out with these kids, how kids being treated, Our kids is dealing with adults or authority figures, how people not really worrying about kids the way they used to be. Jacqueline, thanks for tapping in. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the live stream. I appreciate it. Thank you for tapping in. So, like I said, I want to know what's important. That's what I want to know. What's important? Like, what matters? What matters? Like, what is the significant factor nowadays? What holds validity nowadays? What holds validity nowadays? Again, thanks for tapping in, Jacqueline. I appreciate it. So, I'm not on the stream, y'all, so I was unable to drop the link because I'm not on the stream, y'all. However, whoever pull up, if the conversation heat up, or I'll definitely shut the stream down and go to the stream, y'all. And we could do some things, but right now, I want to know what's strategically important, like what really matters. I would love to know that. Like I said, what music, culture, clothes, food, what? And I would think that probably could make the top three too. Food, shelter, like those things I believe because a lot of people struggling on a day-to-day basis to buy food, to keep a roof over their head, or to keep a house or a home, or things that it used to be. It used to be family. It used to be relationships. Like I said, food, shelter, the economy, and or money, but I don't see it being what it used to be. So I'm still kind of weeding through. Really, I want to hone in on, even if it ain't the top three, the top five things that really matters. Literally, the top five things that literally matter. It ain't law enforcement because it's a lot of areas in life where it's defund the police. I mean, I don't know what that's about. I understand that a lot of systems have flaws in it, job systems, the government, education systems, businesses, but to defund the police, it's like no matter how corrupt some people or certain people think they are. I've dealt with corrupt cops, but I don't want to defund the police, though. I've dealt with corrupt judges, corrupt lawyers, but I don't want to defund judges. I don't want to defund lawyers. And I've dealt with corrupt doctors. I don't want to defund hospitals. I don't defund doctor offices, and I've dealt with corrupt doctors. You know what I mean? Like they have given me invalid information. And it's like, damn, but that's the doctor. Like, how the doctor going to tell me this is wrong with me? And then I go to another doctor. They're like, no, that wasn't nothing wrong with you. You're all right. Or recommend me to go see a specialist about something. And when I get to the specialist, they like, nah, you ain't really need to come here and see us. And it's like, damn, my doctor going to send me, for example, to the eye doctor. It's like, but I ain't need to go to at that point in my life, I need to go to the eye doctor. Why they send me there? You know what I'm saying? I can say, yo, my back hurt. It's like I want to see the chiropractor just to get my back cracked. They trying to give me Tylenol or Advil or something for pain. It's like, yeah, I do. My back do hurt, but I think I need to see the chiropractor. They not sending me to the chiropractor, but yet and still they want to give me Tylenol or Advil or something. It's like, nah, I don't need that, doc. I need to see the chiropractor. So just about every industry or corporation is corrupt. Just about. The banking systems, dealing with Wall Street, everything is just about corrupt. So it can't be only the police or only the government. Just about everything is corrupt. So that's why I'm asking what matters. Can't just be okay, well, X amount of people or this group of people don't like this or not feeling this. So nah, we want to shut it down totally. It's like the school system to a degree, or education system, excuse me, to a degree, because some of those lessons they teach ain't beneficiary or ain't beneficial. So is it defund the board of education? Is it that? So what is it? Some of them things aren't beneficial. So what is it? So what matters? What matters? So what matters is what people worried about at that moment or in that situation. Like when you go through something now, it only matters. Say it should matter regardless. It should matter regardless. It shouldn't be now that something catastrophic happened. This or these things get more attention paid to it because okay, this happened. So now we worry because this happened. So we gonna make this important. Like, no, I'm saying, oh, this right here is important because we've been going through this for years. But a lot of things on a whole, civilization and mankind have been struggling with. This didn't just start 2025. I mean, things been going on since the 80s, the 90s. In some situations, you go back to the 70s, maybe even the 60s. The difference was, and the difference is, those generations, those group of people, or that generation of people, they was able to deal with things differently. They was able to be stronger in situations because some of those situations just took strength. It was like, nah, I'm just gonna be strong regardless. Like we gonna fight this out. And they like, nah, I refuse to quit. Like I gotta appreciate and respect that. My grandmoms, my grandfather, my great grandfather, my great grand, they did a lot more with a lot less. They had a lot less resources, a lot less funds, a lot less food, a lot less room in whatever apartment or whatever they had. However, I couldn't really tell. I couldn't really sense it and see it. Everybody had their struggles, but I couldn't really sense that and see that because my grandma was like, "Yo, I'm gonna make this happen." My grandfather was like, "Yo, I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna make that happen." So I couldn't really detect it and see it and feel it because they put in so much work. Like they did so much to show me how important sustaining was. It wasn't about nothing else but doing that. Like sustain it. It meant so much. It's like, nah, I could work with this. I understand that I got to feed 6 people. I'm going to make it work with this limited amount of food or this limited amount of resources. I'm going to make it work. So that helped because they did a lot more with a lot less. And it's like now we might not really see it, but we have a lot more resources and we not doing as much with it. We got a lot more resources. So how we can make more things happen with a lot more resources? So it's like maybe we're not paying attention to the resources that we have. And it's just a lot of complaining and a lot of emotionalism going on and not really bearing witness and understanding and appreciating the resources that we have to our disposal. It could be that. Because, like I said, me just thinking back and looking back, my grandparents had a lot less and they made a lot more happen. They had a lot less food, but they was able to do more with it. They had less money. They made more things happen. Less resources, made more things happen. And more mouths to feed, less money. But they did a lot more things. Question, caller, do you recall at one point people had, like, because you older than me, so do you recall people having a lot less but doing a lot more? Or I'm over exaggerating that? Like, meaning, like, when you came up, minimum wage was less. So people having resources wasn't high it is today, but they was able to make more things happen with less back then. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I recall that. I recall my moms or my grandmoms or my grandfather or my dad not having as much access to things like now. People have a lot more access to things. Like people could get on the internet and become an influencer, and that's another income immediately. It's not like you got to literally go out there and get another job, and that's another way of getting money or another source of income. And you got to put hours in. So let's just say you putting in 40 hours at this job. Now you got to go put in another 20 somewhere else to get that extra money. You could just put in, hypothetically speaking, 30 hours now and be an internet influencer and start getting money. And that would be easier and it would be access to have more resources. Back then, they didn't have the access or the resources, but from my understanding and my perspective, they did a lot more with what they had. So that's why I'm asking what matters. Like, that's how I see it. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I peep game. Like, and things lasted longer. Like, I recall when I was growing up, being a kid, even being a teenager, my grandmom's had her TV for like 15 years. You know what I'm saying? She had the refrigerator for like 12, 13 years. Like it wouldn't give out, conk out. She had the washing machine for like 10, 12 years. You know what I mean? And it was like she made that work. Like she was able, or my mom's made that work. Well, like after a year or two, my mom's gave up. My pops gave up. Like even if him and my mom's wasn't seeing eye to eye. Or I had an aunt and she had kids. And whatever she was going through with her baby father or her man or her husband, same thing if I had an uncle. He ain't like give up that quickly. Like he was around. Like I grew up. Like yo, I'm gonna go to my uncle's house and somebody that he dealt with was like an aunt to me and she was around for a long extended period of time. And they had a lot less than people have access to be able to get their hands on that. I'm not saying people got a lot more now, but the access to be able to get a lot more now is a lot easier. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, okay, you could be in position to get a lot more now. Back then, you had to really work and earn a lot more. You had to put the work in. Now it can be given to you through various different outlets. You ain't even got to just be on YouTube. You could be on TikTok and make money. You could be on Instagram and make money. You could be on Facebook and make money. Back then, you had to have jobs. You know what I'm saying? You had to. It was no, unless you're going to just like get welfare or something like that. But otherwise, how you going to really get money? Or how you going to have access to resources? You had to put in the work. And I'm not knocking people right now. I'm just asking because it's like how we have so much money and economy problems when it's a lot more ways to gain and get or have access to resources. That's what I'm asking. Or that's what I'm saying. Back then you had to work or put in work. You had to do it. It was no way around that. Like I said, unless you was getting wealthy. But outside of that, it was no way really to do it legally. There's no way to do it. So you was in a relationship, your man had to have, or your husband, or your baby daddy, he had to have possibly two jobs. It's like, I got to pay the rent, pay the light bill, pay the gas bill, give my girl or my wife or whoever some money, and then take care of my kids. So that's various different incomes and sources of resources. Like I don't see that like that now. So that's why I'm asking like what really matter? Like what really matters when it comes to that? Like can you nowadays can you do what you're doing to get the money, to have the resources and make it work? Or people just a lot more selfish or a lot more weak or a lot more emotional? Or is it really a not a lot more weak? People just a lot more emotional. Back then, the resources wasn't how it is. And people was making it work. And things lasted longer. Like I said, things lasted longer. People had VCRs. They would last a lot longer than DVD players did. Walkmans, radios, stereos. They lasted a lot more longer than iPods, MP3 players. A lot of that stuff broke down and gave out. So what really matters? What really matters? What's really important? What's really important? What really matters? What's really important? What really matters? See, why it seems as if things are chaotic or catastrophic is because accountability is at the lowest it's been. Is at the lowest it's been. Foolishness, stupidity is at an all-time high. So nobody wants to be held accountable, and everybody either agree with, deal with, or condone foolishness. So nobody on a large scale. So 85 to 90% of the population don't want to be held accountable. And a lot of people participate, deal with, or accept foolery and stupidity. So this is why it seems like resources ain't there. The economy is bad. Money ain't what it used to be. Who wants to put in the work? Who wants to do it? Everybody's saying the government owe them this. Politicians messed up that. Congress messed up this. My family did this wrong. My moms did that wrong. My dad did this wrong. My school did me wrong. Back then, people understood to be thankful, to be humble, to work around and work with the situations. Again, they had a lot less, but they did a lot more. And like I said, that matters because that's just the truth. It also matters because they was a lot more stronger. They was a lot more stronger. Like I recall my grandmom's making it happen. Even though I don't advocate holidays, my grandmom's made it happen on Thanksgiving, on Easter. Them holidays when you got to put them feasts together, my grandmom's got it in. Both of my grandmothers, they was getting it in. They would make sure grandkids ate, their kids ate, other people that came out famous. It was always enough. And that's, to me, that's how it should be now. It should be easier for it to be enough for everybody. And back then, it was like that many people wasn't contributing back then. You had maybe two people, maybe your grandmoms and whoever else was around. Maybe one of your aunts or somebody, or your moms, or somebody like that. Or, it was your father's family. Okay, maybe with that particular grandma's, maybe one of your uncles or your pops or somebody chipped in the best way they could. But it's like now, it's like people, it could be 4 or 5 incomes and it still can't work because so many people have self preservation. Me, I, self all day. And there's nothing wrong with that when you on your own. But when you saying it's a collective thing, it's a family thing, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. And another reason it was working was because it wasn't only about me, I. They wasn't spending money based off other things and other people. Like weeds wasn't that popular like that, like they are now. A lot of them back then, they was wearing a natural hair. I'm not saying wigs and weaves wasn't out, but it wasn't as popular as it started to get, and it is now. That's what I'm saying. So if they did purchase a weave or a wig, they kept that for a long time. I recall saying A few of my aunts like, you know how long I had that wig? And me thinking back at it, being a kid laughing, but it's like, no, auntie, I ain't, all right, you got that. Like, because they would have it for a long time, 3 years. And they really took care of it. It's like, I don't be having money like that to keep going back and buy wigs. They took care of that. That's another thing. People took care of the things that they had. So you wouldn't have to keep going back and keep going to buy, buy weaves and wigs because it's like you're going to take care of what you got. People will have a winter coat, 4 or 5 winters. 4 or 5 winters. And nobody was mad, made fun of you. You had that coat 3 years. It's like, okay. It was respected that you took care of it that long. Now, it's like, nah, I had this coat 2 years now. I gotta get rid of this. Like I said, yes, things was more durable. Things would last longer. But people took care of things too. Now, people don't take care of nothing no more the way they used to. So that made things last longer. So even though a lot of them was limited, they put in a lot of work. So it wasn't nothing to have something for a minute because they put in work and it lasted longer. So it's like, damn, my pops told me, not for nothing, I got to try to let this last for a little minute. Him and my moms, they ain't gonna have it like that. So you made it last. It's like going back to school. You get back to school clothes. You held that down. September, October, November, December, you probably get something new around Christmas time. Look at that. Even though school came back like kind of early September-ish. Okay, you got the whole September, you got the whole October, you got the whole November. That's then you got to stretch it into December, going into the New Year. So that's at least 90 days at the minimum. At the minimum, you like, nah. I remember when my mom's and say, I got to make this work. So okay, you got the back to school clothes in September, then you got to hold that down to like Christmas time. Then Christmas now you probably get you a pair of boots or another pair of sneakers. Now it's cold outside, depending where you was living at. You get a coat. So now all right, you gotta hold that down. So they'll buy the coat a little bit bigger. So you got a few years because if you was younger, you was growing up and getting older. So by the time you, for example, if they brought the coat for you, you was 10, you could hold that coat down to like 13, maybe 14, depending how tall you got or how much weight you gain. You could hold that down. So that's why I'm concerned about what matters. Because if it's about making a fashion statement, I mean, what, okay, that matters? To whom and why? Can't be about sticking together because that ain't happening. So what's important? Something I didn't say that I know may be important to a lot of people, but I don't see it that way. And the people I've been asking ain't really said, but social media probably is important, being on the internet for a lot of people. I mean, I existed before the internet. I'm doing this for business purposes. Again, what I said earlier, that resources, some sort of equity, some sort of money. And it ain't strictly about the money because I got a lot of videos out there and did and posted, and I ain't getting nothing from it or out of it. So at the end of the day, that may be something that some people may say is important. Social media. And again, that's just another way to get money. or to have money. That's what that is. It's another way to get and to have money. Social media. So how come the people maybe 2 generations ago was able to sustain with less? 2 generations ago, they had less. Definitely 3 generations ago, they had that's without a doubt. And they definitely was making it happen. They definitely was making it happen. It wasn't all this complaining and moaning and groaning and no, we can't do this without that. And if we get this, then we need that. It's like, for real? So all that moaning and groaning wasn't really going on. It was about sustainability. Like a lot of them was able, they was able to sustain much more for a longer extended period of time. For a longer extended period of time. They was able to do that. It's like now, nah, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. People are unable to sustain like back then. That's what it was about. Sustaining. Back then, they was able to make things stretch and last longer. And it wasn't upset. I'm not saying they didn't have rough and tough times, but they wasn't upset. It wasn't. They wasn't upset. It was good. But now you don't really see that no more. Like there was a point where you could always see that. You can't see that no more. Can't see that no more. It's like this is important to me. And once whatever was important, once the obligation is met, that's that. It wasn't okay. Well, that obligation is met. Now I'm gonna find something else to be uncomfortable or unhappy about. And that's that. So it's like, you know what? I'm just worrying about these bills being paid and having some food. That was it. Now it's like bills got to be paid, food, vehicles, not a vehicle, vehicles, hair got to be done. Nails got to be did. Kids got to have the latest things, game systems, luxury items. So that's why the economy is bad. That's why people complaining about economics and finances because it's like everybody want to compete against each other and keep up, and that takes money away. That takes economics away because when you trying to like, yo, I gotta keep up. I gotta have this. I gotta have them $100 sneakers. I gotta have that $80 belt. Gotta have a luxury vehicle. So that shifts priority. So it takes away from keeping food, keeping necessities, toothpaste, toilet paper, mops, brooms, Ajax, bleach, dishwashing liquid. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Make sure you hit the like button and you share. I appreciate it. Thanks for tapping in. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Thanks for tapping in. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share. I appreciate it. So that's why the economy is bad. That's why it's no more money. The resources is low because so many people spending money. And put my, I'm blessed. I'm blessed and I'm thankful. Thanks for asking. How about yourself? I'm blessed and I'm thankful, friend. How about yourself? So that's why it seems like the economy. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share. That's why the economy is bad. That's why it's no more money. It's no more resources because people are spending money on things that's not important. That's why I'm asking what matters, what's important. It can't be family no more because people don't get along with family no more. People not staying in relationships no more. If it's money, then why are people not spending money correctly? They spending money on luxury items. There's nothing wrong with buying a car, but you don't need a luxury car. Who said that? Now, for the people who got it, that's different. People who got millions of dollars, no problem. Got millions of dollars, all right. If you got 200-300 grand, you don't need to have a Lex and Benz, and then you got to have luxury clothes. That's living above your means. If you got that 200 grand, 300 grand, get you a regular vehicle, get you from point A to point B. You don't need all them luxury items, and now you really can have more money because you still got to pay insurance, still got to pay a car note, still got to put gas in the vehicle, still got to get oil changes and tire rotations and tune-ups and all that, and that's going to cost. And the higher luxury of the vehicle, the more money you're going to have to spend. And no matter how much of luxury clothes and shoes, those shoes going to get worn down, those sneakers going to get worn down. So now, like what? What you got to show for that? Nothing. So keep it affordable, but keep it classy, keep it respectable, but keep it affordable. Most important, because that materialism, it really don't matter. But that's why it appears to be the economy is messed up, and the economy is not. It's people not prioritizing what they spending this money on. That's what it boils down to. People are not prioritizing how they spending money and what they spending money on. They not. So it's gonna seem as if the economy bad. Prices is high. If prices was as bad as people say they are, majority of people will not still be trying to make fashion statements or car statements or luxury item statements because they'd be like, man, I can't afford that. Can't pay for that. And they wouldn't be looking to trying to bring so many people along with them. So it's like if you got enough for your wife or your husband and y'all got 2 kids, okay, that's that. Ain't nothing wrong with extending the love, but right now you only got enough for you and your immediate family. That don't mean because you can't help your sister or your brother or your mom or your dad, that don't mean you don't love them. Right now, if you extend that, it's going to set you back financially. It's going to set you back. So of course you're gonna be like, man, price is too high. Yeah, because I'm saying it was you and your husband or you and your wife and y'all got a kid or two. And it's like, all right, y'all was maintaining. Y'all able to take care of the kids, able to take care of the bills, take care of the car note. You know, if you gotta get the car, like I said, tire rotated and tune up or oil change and all that. Okay, you can do that. But now it's like, you know what? My brother's struggling. Let me try to My sister's struggling. Let me try. And there's nothing wrong with that, putting the effort in, but that's going to set you back now. And that has nothing to do with who people voted for, or the government, or Congress, or the mayor, or the governor. That's you trying to add extra baggage to the bags you already got to carry. So if you only could afford $65 a week worth of groceries, now you got somebody else who really ain't got it themselves. It's like, let's just say you say, "All right, yo, sis, you can move in with me." It's like your sister move in and she can't afford rent her own. She gotta live with you. So now whatever come with her, she got a kid or she got a man. Now that extra baggage, or if your brother gotta move in with you, whatever he got going on, his woman or his kid, extra baggage. And if you was just making it and just getting by with your wife or your husband and your kids, how you gonna be able to do this now with your sister or your brother? It's just like, man, I can't do all this. And again, that don't make you a bad person. That's not a knock on the other family member you may be trying to extend the love to or with. Just can't sustain it. Just can't sustain it. And if you're gonna be able to sustain it, sacrifices gotta be made. That's why it seems as if things ain't right. Because who wants to sacrifice? People to hold on to their things and looking forward to or having the expectation that somebody else is going to keep extending their what they have. So if I got what I got, I can't always want to hold what I got and want somebody else to always extend their hand and give up what they got. Vice versa. Got to sacrifice. And nobody wants to sacrifice. People want to hold what they have. Then when it don't work, it's catastrophic. It's, oh no, you selfish, or no, you got this. And that's why we struggling. It's like you gotta want to give up what you got. Just like you don't want to give up what you got. You gotta look at the next person, even if it is your wife, even if it is your husband, even if it is your man, even if it is your woman. Gotta look at that. So if you saying, my man, he could afford to give up that, okay, that's my woman. She could afford to give up that. Can't hold on to what you got and expect it just because that person is your man or your wife or your husband or your sister or your brother, and you believe y'all got that relationship like that, y'all tight like that, like they gonna want to sacrifice and give up what they got. That's the issue. I'm not saying things are not bad with prices. I'm not saying things are not bad with the economy, but who wants to sacrifice nowadays? Nobody wants to sacrifice. Rightfully so. But since on a large scale, nobody wants to sacrifice, that's why it seems as if prices are sky high. Everything is higher. Now, when people start really sacrificing and really literally and logically sticking together, it won't seem as bad. You're a woman out here, you're a female, you're like, I'm a single mother, I'm a boss chick, I'm independent, I can do it on my own. Okay, imagine or look at the logic. If you was making it happen with the baby daddy, even if you feel like you don't get along with the baby daddy, that don't got nothing to do with the kid. Vice versa, if you feel like you don't get along with the baby mama, that ain't got nothing to do with the kid. So if y'all make things work out and stick together for that, for the sake of the kid, it'll be less pressure on both ends of the spectrum. That's a fact. So it don't matter if you're like, man, he ain't bringing nothing in, but hypothetically speaking, $200 a month, that's $50 a week. I mean, it's something. It's, I get it. It might not be what you deem enough to help. It's something. It's something. Say, all right, yo, you know what? That $50 a week, yo, boom, just hold that, or use that $50 a week to buy groceries. So now you ain't even got to worry about that no more. Or use that $50 a week. You know, we going to do the laundry with that. You know what I'm saying? So one week we do the laundry with it. The next week we're gonna take that $50. We're gonna go get our son or our daughter. We're gonna go get them some underclothes, some socks, some t-shirts, some underclothes. Next week after that, okay, I gotta do, if it's a girl, I gotta get her hair done. I gotta do her hair. All right, that's gonna be for barrettes, grease, brush, comb, whatever, hot curlers, whatever it's gonna be. But don't just brush that off like, nah, you know what? I'm better off doing this on my own. There ain't really no bread. Like, it's something. Something always. That's what I'm saying. Going back to how things used to be, something was always better than nothing. But when you want to put an expectation or a dollar amount on it, of course it's going to be like that. Of course it's going to be like that. So now it's unwarranted pressure on somebody to have to get more and do more. So it's like, man, this ain't good enough. I ain't going to do nothing. Whether that seems as if that person is dead right or dead wrong, that's not the point no more. The point is that nobody wants to sacrifice. Nobody wants to work with the other person. So what's important? What's important? Can't be health no more because people know things they do got their health deteriorating because they in bad relationships. That's getting connected to mental health. And people's mental health is starting to suffer based around that and based off that. Some people mental health is suffering because they're unwarranted relationships, unwarranted circumstances, unwarranted situations. Like, man, I've been in this relationship this long. I ain't getting nothing out of this. You ain't getting nothing out of it because you believe or see it as if you're putting wholehearted effort and the next person being lazy or lackadaisical because people got materialistic motives for being in relationships. So that's why I said what I said about relationships. How they matter. They don't matter. They're not important. People with people because of their money. So females is with dudes because of the money. Dudes is only with female body parts. So it's like, who really doing for who? And it becomes more and more harder for people to do for themselves because it's just like everybody for themselves anyway. The world ain't gonna keep moving forward like that because you gotta collaborate for something to work. You can't do everything by yourself. Can't. That's impossible. You gotta collaborate. Gotta collaborate. You need the job to hire you, even though you might believe or say, I qualify, I could do this. I don't need my coworkers. You kind of do. Because if they don't do their job like you don't do your job, that company gonna plummet. It ain't gonna work. It's like that with in relationships. But since people don't take these things serious no more, and this seems as if it's not important, that's what I'm asking. So what is? It can't be life no more because people unaliving themselves, people unaliving other people. So what's important? Can't be the music no more. Look how that sound. People that quote unquote that got power, they using it against people that don't have power. People that got money using it against people that don't have money. So it's like what? Like what's important? What? Can't be politics because if you vote for somebody that somebody don't like, then that don't matter no more. So what's important? It's not family. Family ain't sticking together. What is it? It's hard to say social media because people on social media, they not getting along. All they do is majority of people gossip, spread rumors, and talk about other people. So how is it social media? What's important? What's important is, from what I'm peeping, is self-preservation. And I love self-preservation for everybody. It's just on a whole, collectively, the world ain't gonna work like that because you have to be able to stick together in some shape, form, or fashion for things to grow and elevate or evolve. And that's just facts. That's just facts. If everybody's coming into a situation with their own agenda, how is things gonna work? Sports, that ain't gonna last too long. The way that people projecting that, well, this player is better than that player. That player. I'm saying you still need that player that don't even get talked about at all. Still need the eighth man on the bench when he come in the game, or the eighth man, or whatever on the football team, the one that might not be making the Pro Bowl, making the All Star teams. They just playing for that contract. I hope the team don't cut me. You still need them when they are called upon to do their obligations, to do their duty. But if they less than everybody else, that may not help the team progress. But sometimes you just need somebody there to encourage everybody to get it done. Of course, they might not be able to fulfill that certain skill set, not only in sports, at a job. You may need somebody to be like, yo, nah, not for nothing. I understand how the managers get. I understand how the bosses do. Yo, man, yo, we got to do what we got to do, man, to get this done. Because if this company plummet, we going to be out of a job, or we going to be out of a situation. And then what? And then what? So what's really important? What's really important? It's that self-preservation. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's self-preservation. It's that self-preservation. And like I said, I love that for everybody. However, it's not going to be able to be sustainable over the long haul. Everybody looking to be a chief, you need Indians. Everybody want to be a boss, you need workers. Everybody want to be the captain, the lieutenant, or the sergeant. Everybody want to be the mayor. Everybody want to be the governor. Everybody want to be the president. Somebody got to listen. Somebody got to do that. Everybody is not built to lead. Some people got to lead the people to the leader. Like, yo, not for nothing, yo, we got to go this way to get to the leader. Some people got to do that. Got to lead the people to the leader. Some people don't even believe that. Everybody in control. And that's why things are out of control. Kids don't want to listen. Kids don't want to learn in school. They don't want to go to school. That's why there's a lot of bullies and all that running around. Because everybody wants to be in control. That's why things are catastrophic and out of control. Everybody's a boss. Everybody wants to be in control or be in command. Somebody, like I said, somebody got to lead the people to the leaders. Everybody can't be a leader. That don't just make you a follower. It's just no, you're in position to lead the people to the leaders. And that's actually a position now. But everybody, I'm a leader. I'm a boss. I'm a commander. I'm a lieutenant. I'm a sergeant. I'm a chief. So this is why I look and it appears to be the world is how it is. Everybody can't be something somebody else is. How's it gonna be if everybody a boss? So how you gonna be a boss? You ain't got no employees, you ain't got workers. How? So how you gonna be a boss? It's impossible. You got your own store. Who gonna work for you? Okay, you do got your own store, but who gonna work for you now? You're gonna need a cashier. You're gonna need a accountant. But if you the only boss, or if everybody else is a boss, who's working? Who? If everybody else is taking the lead role, who gonna lead? Who gonna lead the people to the person that's taking the lead role? It's nothing wrong with being a supporting actor. It's not wrong with that. But everybody got to be no the lead person. No, I'm the leader. I'm the leader. Well, okay. Since everybody's a leader, look around. Look, that's why things the way they are. Everybody's a leader, right? Everybody's a boss, right? Everybody's a king, right? Everybody's a queen, right? So look around. That's why things the way they are. That's why kids don't listen when they go to school. If they like you ain't no leader, now it's a fight or somebody's getting bullied. Everybody can't be a boss. Everybody can't be a leader. Some people are meant to lead people to the leaders. Some people are meant to guide people to the leaders. It's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. Actually, it's a lot right with that. But again, it's just me. Just me. I'm just talking. Oh, I'm gonna figure this thing out. I'm gonna figure it out because, like I said, everybody's a boss. Everybody's a leader. No matter what industry you in or what field you in or where you at in life, everybody can't be the boss. Everybody can't be a leader. And that's not diminishing anyone. That's just facts. That's just facts. And when you got that mentality or that mind frame, nobody can tell me nothing. I can do what I want to do. Okay, fine. The next person got that mentality, and the next person got that mentality, and the next person got that mentality. So who is actually following instructions? Who is actually following instructions? Who? Somebody's not following instructions now. Somebody's not following instructions because remember, everybody's a leader, right? Everybody's a boss, right? Everybody's a king, everybody's a queen. So where now, okay, so who's the pawn? Who's the rook? Who's the knights? Who? Who's the bishops? Who? Somebody got to play those positions. Somebody. I get it though. Nah, I ain't got to do that. Not me. That's beneath me. I'm above that. Okay. Well, this is why things went the way they are and how they are. I mean, I don't take it personal. I get it. It's nothing personal. You got to understand how this thing works, how this thing go. That's why I'm asking what's important. What's important? A lot of people don't really know what's important. They just going off what they see and going off what they hear. Somebody else saying, well, this matter. Then they'll say that matter. Yeah, no. I'm saying, yeah, it's that, but this too. What matter? Your health matter or your money? Your money matter or your relationship? Like, see, whatever you make your priority, stick with that. The other things should be important, but it's not going to be as strong as those other things. So if it's all about your money, you still could be and have a relationship, but it's not going to be as strong because it's not the focal point like getting money is or having money is. Sister Winnie, thank you for tapping in. I appreciate it. How you doing? You all right? So if your relationship or building your family is important, excellent. But now understand, money is not going to be the focal point. So you may not be able to get as much money because your family is your focal point. That don't mean that you don't care about money. Just your family will be more important. If or should your religion be the highest thing in your life, then other things, not saying they're not important or they're not relevant, but they won't be high on the pecking order. It's like, all right, religion first. All right, cool. Family second. All right, money third. So now, if you try to reverse, it's like, all right, I'm going to make money first. Okay, so now religion going to fall down. Family going to fall down. That don't mean that religion ain't important or family ain't important, but whatever's the priority, focus on that. Can't have three priorities. That ain't gonna work. Something got to be the priority, then that makes something else the minority. And that's not a bad thing. But everything is on the top of the list. Everything has to rank supreme. Wardrobe, food, money, a car, a house, relationship. Like something like how you gonna make all that priority? Like that's impossible. But when you let people know that, it's like, oh, you trying to tell me I live my life? No, nobody's an AI robot. Like you can't make all that priority and then all of those things be successful. Whatever is the most successful other things still could be kind of strong, but not as strong as the main thing. That's it. Some people got their main billionaires got the main thing that make them money. Then they got a few other things that brings money in. So now they ain't got to spend whatever the main source of income is. They ain't got to resort on spending that money. So, for instance, if Jeff Bezos, if the main thing is Amazon, he got other things that he got money invested in so he can start making money off those things. So he ain't got to start or he ain't got to be focused on touching the Amazon money. Elon Musk, if he got Tesla, okay, so now he got other things, SpaceX, other things, Twitter, other things that's like, I could spend this other money. I ain't even got to be sweating Tesla. That's all I'm saying. But if you come into the situation like, all right, my money, that ranks supreme, no problem. But now you might not have the relationship that you thought you would have with family, with friends. That don't mean you don't love family and friends. You're just not going to have that relationship that you thought you would because money is the priority or your career is the priority. That's that. So whatever is the priority is gonna take away from other things. That don't mean those other things are not important, or you don't know what you're doing, or you're neglecting those other things. They're just not as important. No problem. No problem. When you come into a situation, it's like everybody's a boss, everybody's a king, everybody's a queen. Like I said, for those who know about the chessboard and the game of chess, okay, you still got knights on the board. You still got rooks on the board. You still got pawns on the board. You got other pieces on the board though. So so those pieces don't mean nothing. They gotta mean something because they protecting the main assets, which is the king. They protecting the king. So if you like, nah, I'm saying he could be a king, I could be one. If she could be a queen, nobody not saying you can't be a queen, but everybody's unable to do that. Everybody can't be a king. Everybody can't be a queen. Some people got to be mentally, spiritually, and psychologically prepared to do that. Some people aren't emotionally stable enough to be a queen. Some people aren't emotionally stable enough to be a king. That's not a knock on them. Some people don't have the the psychological edge to be a king. Some people don't have the psychological edge to be a queen. That don't make them less than the next person. Everybody don't have the psychological edge to be a boss. That don't make them less than the next person. Some people don't have the guts, the balls, the gumption to fire somebody. And then after they fire the person, they don't have the gumption or the goals or the balls to know how to hire somebody to fill the position. Or even if you ain't got to fire nobody, now you got to know how to level somebody up to put them in position to be ready. Like, yo, all right, yo, you've been at this company for X amount of time. I know you're ready to be a manager now. You know what I'm saying? I know you're ready to be a supervisor now. Everybody can't see that. Some people just be like, yo, you've been working here for a minute. Yo, man, this person got a good relationship. And now you make somebody a manager or a supervisor, and they not ready for that. Mentally, psychologically, spiritually, verbally, because now they might not have the communication or the verbal skills to communicate with other people. So now you may lose people or lose employees because it's like, man, I don't know why they made Jane Doe a manager. She don't know how to communicate. I don't know why he made John Doe the manager. He don't know how to talk to people. And it might not just be the people that work for the company. It could be people that you got to interact with and do business with. So now you may lose business. You may lose workers. You may lose employees. Because now, from a character perspective, you being the person that's in charge, bad choice of character. So everybody is not cut out for everything. But since everybody have the I could do it, me attitude, this is why so many other areas in life are slacking and lacking. This is why people like your music don't sound the same. Sports ain't the same. Movies ain't the same. TV shows ain't the same. The internet is trash. Jobs ain't the same. Relationships ain't the same because everybody believe, which is not a bad attitude to have or a bad mentality to have, that they can lead or they in control. And everybody is unable to do that. And when you say that, what you mean I can't lead? You don't have everything it take. It take a lot to lead a lot of people. It take a lot to do that. You don't just wake up like, all right, I can lead. It take a lot to do that. That's why majority of times when people first start out with a business, it is not successful. When people first start out with a business, it's like a 75% chance that their first go around, it might not work. Then when they get a second go at it, the chances of it being successful is high. It's like a 65% chance that the second go at a business is going to work more than the first time. Because that first time you got to really learn what it's like to run a business from all different aspects: who to hire, when to hire people, how to pay people, how much people should get paid, what should be the wages, how to maneuver the whatever products you got, water, soap, cookies, whatever it is. You don't just, okay, I got my business. You gonna know what to do out the gate, and that don't make you irresponsible or less than anything. It's experience. And people think they just could do it, and they don't have the experience to do it or to get it done. So now it end up suffering. And it's like you're not a failure because it didn't work. You're a failure because you thought coming into it you can just get it done the first time. And if for those who can, power to them. They're a different breed. The first time they touch something, it worked. But on a large scale, it don't really pan out like that. Some people could just do it out the gate. Those numbers are very slim to none. Somebody could just do something out the gate and it just be successful. And now, for those people who second to none and they could just do something out the gate and it be successful, now how long can they sustain it? Because it just popped out the gate, whatever that business may be, or whatever they get into. It popped right then and there. Can they sustain it? So for the people that it don't work for the first time, the second time they do it, they're gonna have more experience. And not only will they have more experience, but they're gonna have more tolerance, more know-how. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, the first time I did my business, okay, I rushed when it came to this. This time I'm gonna take my time with this. This time I'm gonna be more hands-on with this. But if you just come out the gate like I know this gonna pop, I know this gonna work, and then it don't work, you might be discouraged to get back into it. Because like, damn, that ain't even work. Man, I thought I had it. And that don't make you a failure. What make you a failure is not being able to dust yourself off, get back on your feet and do it again. But everybody say they're a boss, they're a king, they're a queen. So that's why I'm saying you got to really hone in on what really matters, not what everybody else saying that matter because it's going to be scattered around. Some people going to say money matter and then they not pursuing the money that matter. Not money because it matter, no, the money that matters. Because it's a specific goal with money that should matter, not just money mattering. People gonna say politics matter, but they may get into it and they may not get into the right avenue of politics. They may get into the Senate when they should have just went straight into being a mayor or a governor. But they like, nah, I just want to get in there the best way that I can. And now once they get in there, it's like, all right, I'm in the Senate. Now I kind of got a better feel for how this is gonna play out, how this is gonna work. Some people just immediately jump in. Nah, I know I could be the governor off the muscle. Some people just jumping like, nah, I know I could be a reverend. I know I could be a pastor. I know I could be a deacon. And not just like, you know what? Let me get into the church. Let me be an altar boy. You know what I mean? Let me be a part of the choir. Like some people just, nah, I know I could be the deacon. Then when it don't work, it's like they may be discouraged. Or they may be like, nah, the church ain't what I thought it was. It's like, but you just jumped into it. Like you got to get in the door first and kind of get a feel for what it's going to be and get some experience. But everybody just jump into it knowing. Like me, when I first started doing what I was doing on the internet, I didn't jump in it like, I know I'm a pop. I know I'm gonna get 100,000 subs in a month. I didn't have no number. I didn't put no expectation on it. I just did it how it came. And look, I've been doing this for years and I still ain't monetized. That don't mean I don't know what I'm doing. It don't mean I do know what I'm doing. But since I didn't put no expectation on nothing, I'm still getting experience. And now the more experience I get, the better I'm getting at it. So when I finally do get monetized, it'll be like, all right, I'm monetized. Okay, this is what I could do now that I'm monetized to capitalize more of that. But if I would have came into this like, yo, you know what? By 2 years, I'm gonna have 15,000 subs. I'm gonna be monetized. I'm gonna have me some YouTube plays. I'm gonna be doing. I'd have been like, man, I ain't doing this, man. Like, damn, I ain't even. But I didn't have that perspective, and I didn't compare myself to nobody else. I didn't say, well, when they did it, because now I'm me, and I'm not gonna do what other people do because I can't measure myself off someone else's downfall or someone else's success. I gotta measure me off me. I gotta look back on me and say, okay, I could get better at this. I could get better at that. So I can't worry about if my talking points are exciting, if they dull, if they boring, if they entertaining. That no, it's take more than just that. Like everything I could be talking about could be 100% true, and it could be entertaining to some people. But now I can't be slouching in my seat. I gotta have the right lighting. I gotta know when to go live. I gotta know when to drop pre-recorded videos. It takes so much to do something on a high scale to be successful. And I can't look at someone else's situation and numbers, because if I do that, then all I'm gonna do is jam myself up. Because it's people, okay, sticking on what I'm sticking on, which is the internet. Okay, some people out here that got 1 million subscribers and they go live and they only be having like 10,000 people on their live streams and they got 1 million subscribers. So that means they don't even have 10% of their subscribers tuning into their live stream. That means they don't know what they're doing. That means they whack. That means they're not entertaining. No. So numbers don't always dictate things. Some people believe that. Some people believe, okay, numbers always dictate. Now, that's not always true. I'm going to say that again. It's some people that got 1 million subscribers. And when they go live, they don't be having 100,000. 100,000 subscribers, if somebody, 100,000 people tuning in, excuse me, if somebody have 1 million subscribers, that's only 10% of their audience. And that's a fact. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. That's not me hating. That's not me speculating. That's a fact. 10% of 1 million is 100,000. So if somebody got 1 million subscribers and they go live daily, so if it's 7 days out the week and they go live 5 days out the week and they could never get 100,000 people to tune in, that's not even 10% of their subscriber count. What's up with that? So they're not successful then? They're not. They're not, and they going live every day. People know to look for the live streams now. People know they're going to go live, but they don't even have 100,000 people tuning in. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody got 100,000 subs and they go live and they can't get 10,000 people to tap in on the live, that's only 10% of their audience. What that mean? They don't know what they're doing? They're not entertaining? What? They don't got talking points of that. So that's what I be saying. What really matters? So I can't just place everything off numbers, because numbers don't always tell you the overall story. It's good to have all those subscribers, but does that necessarily mean when you do something that you're going to see those necessary results? It's some people that got a little bit of subscribers and go live and be having a lot of people. And what that tells me and what that showed me is that just because somebody got a lot of something or a little bit of something, it's not that. It's that some people support people differently. Some people support people for other reasons. Some people just support people. Like, yo, I'm just going to support, but I ain't really going to be tuning in. Yo, I'm going to support and I'm going to make sure I'm tapped in, I'm tuned in. Yo, I'm going to support, I'm going to like, but I ain't going to be tapping in. So it's various different reasons why people do what they do. But if people just basing it off strictly numbers, then that's what I'm saying. So do numbers really matter? Like, what really matters? Because like I said, there's people out here that got 1 million subscribers and they go live, or they'll drop a pre-recorded video. And okay, their video could be up there for a month, 30 days or 60 days, and they still ain't got millions of views. And they got 1 million subscribers. And there's some people that got like 100,000 subscribers and they got millions of views. So it's not about that. It's about the people who are going to tune into what they want to tune into. They got their preference of what they're going to like. And some people may watch it one time and like it and leave it alone. Some people may not even like it, review it. I have done that with certain things. Like, yo, I watch certain platforms and don't like the video, but I'll go back and keep watching it. And I know some people have done that with me. They probably not like my video or like something I said and did, but they might come back and watch something to get the information again or to re-listen to what I said again. That don't make me a bad person or a good person. I have to make my platform good or bad. That's how people gonna do what they do. So same thing with anything else in life. Some people may vote for somebody but not like them or dislike them. They may just be like, yo, they said they was gonna work on this. I'm gonna vote for them based off that. And just because you do something, that don't mean you pro that or anti that. That don't mean that either. Some people take that way too. It's like, okay, if you voted for this person, then that means you against the other person that they was running against. No, no. Just because somebody may listen to their father more than their moms, what that mean they all for their father and they against their mom, or they listen to their mom more than their dad, that mean they all for their mom and they against their dad. No, don't mean that. Don't mean that. Some people study harder when it comes to math, and when they go into spelling, it's like they ain't really paying attention. No, they probably just more interested in math than spelling. That's all. That's all. But when you kick it like that and you drop it like that, people are like, oh no, I'm saying you against this. No, I'm not. Some things just pique others' interest a little bit more. So they're gonna put more emphasis on it. That's all. That's all that is. But when you bring it up and when you talk about it and you ask the questions, people get so emotional. They get it, they feeling so much. So, like I said, I just want to know what's important. Can't be family because majority of people don't really rock with family the way they used to. Can't be relationships. They ain't lasting long. Marriages ain't lasting 40, 50 years no more. Over the last generation or two, going back 2 to 3 generations ago, yeah. But this generation and the marriages ain't lasting long. A lot of people ain't getting married. A lot of people ain't having kids. So you got to be going back to somebody getting married in the 90s and the 80s, those in the 70s and 60s. Those marriages and relationships lasted, but we talking about going into the early 2000s and now. That's 20, 25 years ago. Them marriages ain't been lasting no 50, 60 years. They ain't. People staying married for like 2 years, a year, five tops, because everybody don't need people no more. Everybody need themselves, which is not wrong with that. But how long can we sustain like that? That's the question. It's not a knock on people say, I don't need nobody, no problem. But how long can you sustain like that? That's the thing. How long can society hold up like that? How long? How long can society hold up like that? So what's important? Is it the economy? Is it finances? Is it rent? Is it bills being paid? Is it food? Is it social media? Is it kids? Is it marriage? Is it job and or career? Is it what? Luxury items, cars, what? Sports, music? What's important? And whatever's important, let's keep that the main thing. And the other things, we could gradually work on those things. But the main thing, let's keep that the main thing. If it's sticking together, let's stick together. And if everybody for themselves, they can't knock the fact that we won't get nowhere like that. Because if everybody's a boss, who are the workers? Everybody's a boss, who the workers? If every man is a king, then it ain't no pawns, it ain't no rooks, and it ain't no knights. Period. And if everybody's a queen, it ain't no rooks, it ain't no knights, it ain't no bishops. So how can everybody be that? How? How? Just because somebody write a book, okay, that person is the author. You need an editor, you need a photographer. So because you're not the author, the book don't mean nothing? Nah. Okay, somebody wrote a book, they came to me to do the editing. They went to somebody else to be the photographer. Okay. Now it's a book. You wrote the book. Need somebody to edit the book up. Need somebody to put the index and the heading. Like, but it was like, nah, I'm gonna write the book, I'm gonna edit it, I'm gonna publish it, I'm gonna be the photographer. It's like, okay, all right, okay. Did all that. No problem. But now understand, you did all that. Still need a distributor. So now remember, you the editor, you the author, you the publisher, you the photographer. Who gonna publish the book? So it's still somebody gotta do something. Somebody, somewhere, they gotta do something. Somebody. Somebody gotta do something. But if you got that mentality, now I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it. How? You gotta let somebody else get something done. That's not taking nothing away from you and giving them the credit. Or that's not them taking the credit away from you, giving it to themselves. That's life. The farmer, he got to make sure the animals eating the right thing. He got to make sure he planting the right fertilizer so the crops can grow up and all that. Then after that, he got to find people he can sell them the animal stuff to and all that. And then they got to do their part. They got to get it to the masses, or they got to get somebody to get it to the masses. That don't mean he ain't running his farm. That don't mean that. But if it's like, okay, he gonna do everything. He gonna raise the cattle. He gonna put all the fertilizer down. He gonna drive the tractor. He got the rake. He gonna be digging up everything. Then once everything, if he got chickens, he got cows. Okay, now he gonna get the milk to the stores. He gonna get the eggs to the stores. Somebody gotta watch the cattle while he gone. Somebody, that's what I'm saying. Everybody can't. I'm in control. I'm in control. I'm in control. Something gotta matter. And it can't just be one specific thing. And if it's one specific thing, somebody got to oversee that specific thing so other things could get done. That's how that goes. That's how that goes. But if everybody is in control and everybody's the boss, I don't see how it's going to work. I got glasses on right now. Okay. I go to the eye doctor. They say you need glasses. Okay. Somebody got to manufacture the glasses. The eye doctor said me to get the glasses. He ain't manufactured the glasses too. That's what I'm saying. He can't be like, I'm the eye doctor and I'm gonna make the glasses. Really? No. No. Somebody making music. Okay. They got the lyrics. Okay. I'm gonna make the beat. Okay. No problem. Fine. Who gonna do the session? They gonna do that too. So they gonna do the mix downs, the engineering. They gonna make the beat and they gonna rhyme. Okay. I'm gonna give them all of that. Who gonna publish the music? Who gonna get it to the masses? See, that's what I'm saying. Somebody else got to be able to do something. But everybody, I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it. So it's that way with everything now. So it's like you, a parent, is like, I got it. I don't need the mother. I don't need the father. No, you're right. Y'all need each other. You're right. Y'all need each other. That's how that works. People may not like the mayor or the governor or the president. I'm saying, but they still got constituents they got to go deal with. So even if you might not like the mayor or some of the laws or rules he or she may be pushing, they still got to go to constituents to get them to sign off on whatever they're trying to put in law or whatever bills they putting in place. It ain't just they putting those bills and laws in place and it's like, well, no, I'm saying I don't respect it. Okay, but they got other people that they got to go to and through to get this done. So it may seem like, okay, the buck stops with them or started with them. Nah, that's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. People got to pay attention. People have to pay attention. That's how this thing goes. It's not personal. It's not. It's not personal. And that's why we all behind. Because everybody takes everything personal. Got to be more of that business perspective and the business attitude. That's why when I do what I do on my podcasts and my live streams and my videos, I always say this: it's business. It ain't personal. When you taking things personal, you ain't gonna never be able to do business. And when you do business, you understand you can't take nothing personal. That's why I don't force nobody to watch my podcast or like my videos because I know eventually it'll catch on. And that's what I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need organic people, natural support. I'd rather have 500 major supporters than 5,000 or 500,000 fake supporters. Because now, when I fall out of favor with them, or they don't like something, or they don't like me, it's like they don't really show me their true colors. But those authentic 500, they gonna ride it out regardless. They're gonna support me regardless because they weren't there to like me or not. They was there to truly support me being my authentic self. But see, a lot of people, since social media has become more and more popular, they'll have a lot of scragglers, and that's followers. They're just, it seems like they support the person, but they're not. They're just following the crowd and the herd. They just, they don't want to be left out. They don't want to be left out. So that's why I'm thankful for how I do what I do, because I'm not doing this to be highly favored. I ain't doing this for popularity. I'm doing it because this is my compassion. I'm doing it because I'm sincere. I'm doing this so when the smoke really clear and it's time to see who is who and what is what, you be like, but I ain't gonna even lie, I wasn't really paying him no mind on his platform no mind, but at least now I'm going back on his timeline. I'm going back on the video. He been sincere. He been authentic though, and that's important. No matter how much I get when I get monetized, or how many cash apps or super chats or whatever, me being authentic from my perspective will get me those things. Not me following trendy topics and doing what other people was doing. Because one thing I truly appreciate, you have authentic people in life that can read in between the lines and be like, but yo, but that's not authentic though. And they may not say nothing because it's like I ain't that person ain't worth me calling them out or saying nothing. But some people could see in between the lines and see, yo, but that's not authentic though. And that gotta mean something now. That gotta hold validity. It have to hold validity. So that's why what matters gotta matter. If nationality matter, keep it on that. If a relationship matter, focus on it. If your purpose matter, walk in it. If it's your money, stay focused on getting it and sustaining it. If it's your peace, make sure you keep that. Make sure you don't let nothing distract you from that. If it's building up your business, tap into it. Stay focused on it. Whatever it is, though, whatever it is, if it's your fitness, tap into it. Like, it's not that those other things aren't important or can be important. However, whatever's the main thing, don't be sidetracked by other things because it's going to make you weak all around now. But if you focus on the one thing, those other things that is important, you can fine tune them slowly but surely. It's like you got multiple vehicles. You ain't gonna be able to drive them both a lot. You're gonna drive one car more than the other one. That's that. How you gonna drive two cars a lot? You ain't gonna be able to do that. That's impossible. So if you got two vehicles, it's like, all right, you know what? Or three vehicles, it's like, all right, I'm gonna drive this one right here when I'm with my family. So you might have a minivan or SUV for you and your family. Okay, that's the family vehicle. Then you got your business car. Then you got your traveling car. So if you ain't traveling, you won't be driving that one. If you ain't handling business, you won't be driving that one. And if when you with the family, you got a vehicle for that. That's how that works. But if it's like, nah, I got three cars, I'm gonna drive this one Monday, this one Tuesday, this one Wednesday. Then I'm back to that one on Thursday, back to that one on Friday, back to that one on Sunday. Then I'm gonna rest. No, prioritize what the vehicles are for. So, like I said, if you got three vehicles, okay, this one is for me and my family. If you got a family, this one is strictly for business. This one is just me getting around. So now you got the SUV for you and your family. Y'all go food shopping, y'all doing laundry, whatever. Boom. Okay, you got that for that. Got the business wants. When you want to handle your business and do business, that's what you in. Then you just chill. Okay, this is me just getting around. But if you don't prioritize nothing, it's like you just scattered. Just scattered. So you got to prioritize something. But people try to prioritize everything. What's important? Focus on that, leave it there. You know what I'm saying? If it's activism, let it be activism. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, stay focused on it. Don't let other things distract you. That's becoming a huge problem. Also, when I speak about what's important, some people allow others to distract them for what they know that's a benefit for them or to them. And it's like they could deter you from doing what's right for you because you worrying about a reaction. Like, I don't care about people's reaction. See, the reason why other people's reaction don't matter to me because good, bad, stupid, smart, intelligent, dumb, foolish, wise, people gonna talk about me regardless. I mean, regardless. So if I got more, they're gonna say I think I'm better. If I got less, he ain't really got nothing going on. The amazing MG, sister, what's going on? What's going on? Thanks for tapping in. What's going on with you, sis? I appreciate you. You finally caught one of my live streams. Thanks for tapping in. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. What's going on with you, sister? Thanks for tapping in. The amazing MG. She tapped in. She finally caught live stream. I appreciate it, sis. Thanks for tapping in. So, whatever's important, make that the priority. I'm not saying you can't focus on other things. Thank you for that. No, no, I know you from Jamaica, sis. I know, I appreciate it. You know what I mean? I really do. I appreciate it. Whatever's the priority, you make that the priority. And the other things now, that is important and can't supersede that, because all you're going to do is now be scattered. It's like when people go to college or school, they have what they're majoring in. That don't mean that the other subjects are not important, but they're not more important than their major. No, no problem, sister. That's not more important than they major. Like I said, some people go to school and it's like they pay more attention in science than they do in math. That don't mean that math important. It's just science is more important. Science get their attention more than math. That's all. But that don't mean, science don't mean nothing. That don't mean math don't mean nothing. Science just more important. That's all. But some people don't get that. Everything can be a major priority. You have to focus on what's the priority, and that's that. And the other things, you can work on that. But that's not the priority, though. It's like when somebody working out, they can't they could do a bunch of workouts, but they're not gonna see the results. So at first, you gotta hone in. It's like, you know what? I'm trying to build muscle mass. So now, the more they gonna emphasize more on lifting weights first. Then they'll get into probably calisthenics, jump a rope, something else. But you gotta have a main purpose, a main goal. Then, like I said, other things will start to work out. Other things will start to work out. Thank you, sister, for greeting everybody in the chat. I appreciate that. Other things will start to work out. It's like when a hurricane comes, or a tornado comes, or a major snowstorm. They try to work on the people who lost the most when something catastrophic happened. Not saying the people who maybe just got flooded and may have lost furniture and stuff like that, but the people who lost their whole home or their whole house, you got to work on them first. So if you feel like, but I'm saying, my stuff got caught in the blizzard, my stuff got caught in the tornado, whatever, how they gonna ignore me? I'm saying you ain't lose your whole house or all your property. They did. They did. So you know what? They got to go holler at them first, because at least you got somewhere to lay at. They ain't even got that no more. So the first responders go holler at them first. That's how this go. That's how this thing work. But again, everybody want to make everything the main priority. You have to separate and segregate. Things go in categories for a reason. Things go in categories for a reason. That's how it works. But if you just make it what you want to make a priority, which is everything, nothing ain't gonna be a priority. Nothing. So it's on every individual person to work on that. And a lot of the times now, you got to start working on these things for yourself, by yourself. Can't be expecting or looking forward to other people always working on things with you or taking a journey. That's why it's important to hone in on what's important. So when you do know what's important and you keen in and you eye in on it, now when somebody is working with you or supporting you, they'll know. That's why I like to have a diverse platform. So I can have many different people tapping in. How come? So I can and get many different people perspectives. I might have a main thing I'm doing, which is motivation and education. So I base majority of things around that. Then I'll do other little things. Okay, yo, this is the 5 things you could work on, or this is 10 things weak people focus on and do. This is 5 things to help your wardrobe. But that's not the main basis of my podcast. The main basis of my podcast is motivation, education, inspiration. So if I ain't going to give you all three at once, which I could connect them, I'm going to give you one, or I'm going to give you the other, or the other one. But the main basis is motivation, education, inspiration. So I'm gonna educate you and motivate you and inspire you together. I'm gonna give you something that's beneficial for you to learn, but I'm gonna also motivate you into wanting to learn about it, into wanting to talk about it, or inspire you to be like, you know what? I didn't even look at it like that. Then that inspired me to want to learn. You know what I mean? And then everything else gonna follow that, but nothing is gonna supersede that though. Nothing. It don't matter how much likes or shares or support I get when I do videos about other things. That's not the main focal point. And some people let that happen. It's like, damn, a lot of people like when I did this. So you know what? I'm gonna shift my energy and start focusing on this because they looking for the likes and the attention. I'm only shifting what I'm doing because again, I have a diverse platform. I have a diverse platform, so it's like, all right. But the main thing is the main thing. That's the main thing. Don't worry about a bunch of other things, though. Keep the main thing. Then those other things, you get into them. But keep the main thing. Do that. Salute, shout out everybody who tapped in. Everybody, a lot of people tap in. That's what I'm talking about. Moderator tapped in. Leonardo tapped in. Jacqueline tapped in. uh, Zina TV, Poon tapped in. Uh, Sister Winnie tapped in. The amazing M&G tapped in. That's what I'm talking about. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So various different people could tap in. And it's going to start working out for me that way. So when I have a diverse platform, when I am educating and motivating and inspiring, some people going to take the education, some people going to take the motivation, some people going to be inspired. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. Those things coexist. Educating, motivating, inspiration. So if you're not, you're like, I know that already, but I ain't gonna lie, that motivated me to want to get back into it. Or if you don't know it and you don't need to be motivated, it's like that's something I needed to know. Or if you know it and you don't need motivation, it may inspire you to let somebody else know about it. Or one out of the three. Then I could do other things that I do. Put some quotes out there. People are like, ah, yo, nah, that's some good quotes right there. You know what? I'm gonna apply that quote to my life. But I'm not up here all the time giving out quotes because that's not the basis of what I do. I'm not up here giving people 10 things weak people do or 10 things strong people do. That's not the basis. That's not the main thing. I'll do that sometimes because I have so many diverse people tapping in. But the main thing is going to be the main thing. That's going to be the main thing. That's that. And I'm not gonna let nothing distract me from letting the main thing be the main thing. So before I shut everything down, let me say this. Stay focused and know what matters, what's important. Know that. Know that. Whatever's important, you pay attention to that. You do that. You do that. Whatever's important, you focus on that and you keep it like that. That's how that go. But don't allow other things and other people to distract you from that. And another thing about what's important or what's relevant or what matters. Don't allow someone else to tell you what ain't important for you or to you. People will do that. They'll plant their insecurities on you, or they'll try to distract you from paying attention to what you believe is relevant or what you feel is important. So if you tuning in to something or someone, I'm like, man, now that's this, that's that. Let them have their own perspective on it. You keep doing what you doing. People gonna be people. Be yourself. Always be yourself. Always be yourself. I don't care what nobody tell you. Always be you. And whatever's important, keep the main thing the main thing. That's that. Don't allow someone to let you make something the main thing that ain't the main thing. Like I said, if it's the money, make it the money. If it's your relationships, let it be your relationships. If it's family, let it be your family. If it's your career, let it be your career. If it's politics, let it be politics. If it's the government, let it be the government. If it's your health, let it be your health. I'm not saying those other things are not important, but you can't make three, four, five things, 16 a priority. If it connect and it intertwine, then okay. Meaning, if it's health, okay. Your heart is a part of your health. Your lungs is a part of your health. Your liver is a part of your health. Your brain is a part of your health. Keep the health. So you can focus on that. But don't be scattered everywhere. Because you ain't gonna never be able to see no results. Only reason I'm starting to see a lot more results is because I'm staying on topic. I'm staying on track. I'm not letting what I see around me distract me. I'm not letting trending topics get me. I'm not letting, okay, well, it was so many things that go on every day that I could get up here and talk about. But I don't need that necessary traction. I don't need that crowd because what happens when I'm not talking about those topics? Now that crowd gonna start to disperse anyway. It's like, oh, now I only really subscribe because he was talking about that. So if I keep the main thing, which I'm doing, the people that been liking, been sharing, they gonna tap in because they know, all right, this is what he do. Okay, it's all right that I'm giving a little bit of information about something else, but the main thing is the main thing. Inspiration, motivation, education. That's the main thing. That's that. But me, but for me to start talking about other things, it's like, hold on, he all over the place. So if I keep it on that, I'm good. And that'll make me great because when people tap in, it's like, this is what he do. And then, like I said, if I start to venture into other little things, it's not gonna throw off my crowd. It's not gonna throw off my energy. But if I'm everywhere, if I'm talking about trending topics, then I'm getting back to motivation, then I'm getting back to inspiration, then I'm getting into health. It's like, nah, man, like just keep it where you at and then throw little things in there. That's it. So now I know what to hone in on. So for everybody who tuned in and tapped in, I appreciate it. Wherever you tapped in from, thanks for letting it be known. And for all the people, let me say this too. For all the people who be out there in the bushes, I ain't mad at you. Only thing I would ask, if you don't mind, is subscribe and turn on the doorbell so when I go live, you look through the people and see it's me. And you can stay in the bushes listening. That's not a problem. You don't never gotta say nothing. You don't never gotta like. Just subscribe and hit that doorbell so when I do go live, you can look through the peephole and see it's me. And we can continue to vibe. Because obviously, if you're out there, that means we vibing, you listening. And I'm thankful for that. But you don't owe me none of the things I asked for. I'm asking for that because it helps get to other people. And honestly, it's free. You know what I'm saying? It's free. And once I do get monetized, let me put this out there before I shut the video down. Once I do get monetized, a lot of the free game I gave out and a lot of the free videos I have, they'll be on membership mode. And a lot of people now, because people like to pay attention to popularity. So now when they want to go back and say, nah, I'm saying, let me go back and let me see what he was, you're going to have to pay. So what I like and what I'm learning is to tap in and tune in with people while they are giving things out for free. Because when you gotta pay, you gotta pay. So tap in now because once I get monetized and I start giving out the membership badges and all that, you ain't gonna be able to come back and just pull up a video. You're gonna have to pay for that. So tap in now and go back and start paying attention and looking at certain videos so you can get the free game while it's there. You get that free education while it's there. You could be motivated should you need the motivation or inspired should you need it while it's there. Because once I get monetized, membership badges, and I'm gonna be putting certain videos, live streams, and pre-recordings, membership only, membership only. And I'm learning it's tiers of that. So it's one tier, two tier, three. So now it's like, okay, and I'm not gonna have them high, but I'm not gonna have them low either. Because I really want to see who really gonna want to be a member. So when I set those membership prices, some people are like, damn, that's what he want for the first level of membership. Not because I'm starving or greedy for money. I just really gonna want to see who's gonna really want to be a member. That's how come. I'm gonna really want to say, okay, all right, now they really want to be a member. All right, no problem. Because some people just do it. Like I said earlier, some people just do things just to support you. Some people do things because they appreciate where you're coming from. Some people doing things because they like to see growth and elevation. Some people doing things to be nosy. Some people doing things just to criticize. So if I do the memberships at a certain number, it's going to be hard for you to really just be nosy. Or it's going to be really hard for you to just want to criticize or critique. It's like, damn, do I want to pay that just to be nosy? Do I want to pay that just really to critique? So while I'm not monetized yet, and I didn't do the membership badges, for those who are out there, take full advantage. And I'm saying that for the people that be out there that just be listening and they not like it and they not saying nothing. And I don't want them to, but I'm letting that be known because they may like what I'm saying or like what I'm doing. They may be like, you know what? Nah, I kind of like what he's saying and doing. I ain't gonna say nothing. All right, but I'm putting that out there now. So again, before I shut it down, let me go back to the mod who tapped in. I appreciate it. Leonardo, thanks for tapping in. Jacqueline, appreciate you. Zina TV Poon, thank you. Sister Winnie, Appreciate you. The amazing M&G, appreciate you. And to, like I said, everybody else that was out there, I'm thankful you be listening from the bushes. Hit that subscribe button, hit that doorbell. So when I go live and you look through the people, you see it's me. So you ain't got to be like, oh, he live. You got to do subscribe and hit that doorbell. You'll see it's me and we can vibe. To everybody else out there, remember, stay focused. Keep God first. If you have an issue with getting along with others, get along with yourself. Love yourself. Appreciate yourself. Remember that always. All right? Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Peace and power. Till next time, my good people. And again, thank you to everybody. Peace, world.